Hello, Hofstra fans. I'm Sam Yarnell, and joining me to talk all things NFL are the terrifying Danny D and the frightening Mike Senatore. Danny, Mike, how are you guys doing today?
I'm doing good, Sam. The doctor is in.
I'm doing well. I'm happy to be here, Sam.
So, Danny, I want to start with you on this next question. Without Dak Prescott, do you think the Cowboys could still win the NFC East?
I mean, let's look past the Cardinals game for just a second. They still have Zeke, and they still have Andy Dalton, who's a very dependable backup. You know, when you look at the NFC East, it's the dumpster fire to end all dumpster fires. If the Cowboys can't claw their way out of that division to a title, then just cancel it. Just cancel the whole division.
I think the division is likely going to come down to whichever team has the best luck regarding injuries. The Philadelphia Eagles have been ravaged by injuries, and I think we could see some improvements from them once they're 100%. Washington has a good defense, but there's not much else to praise, and the Giants season just boils down to evaluating Daniel Jones' future with the team. Despite Dak's injury and poor play from the defense, the Cowboys' star-studded offense gives them a chance to win the division, but I would consider Philly the favorites right now.
All right, guys, and so moving divisions now. The Texans recently fired general manager and head coach Bill O'Brien, and then hired Romeo Crennel. Their first game under Romeo Crennel, they won. How do you see the Texans' season playing out under their new head coach?
I don't care what personnel moves you make, there is no saving this ship. Deshaun Watson could put up Herculean efforts, and they're still getting flacked. I think they're going to finish below 6 wins, and this team really has to evaluate what they are, because what we thought they were last year, obviously Patrick Mahomes stomped any notion of them being contenders, and now we're seeing them perhaps in their true form, a team that's just not good at football.
Even with Bill O'Brien gone, Houston's defense is still unremarkable. They've given up at least 30 points in 4 of their 6 games so far this season. However, Deshaun Watson has finally been seeming to return to form in the past 2 games. He threw 3 touchdown passes against Jacksonville and 4 against Tennessee. The season is almost surely lost already, however, as they've fallen too far behind the Titans and the Colts to have any meaningful chance at the playoffs.
So, guys, next I want to talk about the powerhouses in the NFL. There are 3 teams that remain undefeated. Those are the Seahawks, the Steelers, and the Titans. Of those 3 teams, which do you find the most poised to make a deep postseason run?
Shout out to Pittsburgh, but I really am focusing on the Seahawks and the Titans. And while I really like what Russell Wilson is doing this year, I can't abandon my Tennessee boys. I mean, Vrabel, great coach. Tannehill, great QB, but they don't rely on him too much. And they have probably the best running back in the entire league, in my opinion. These guys are hungry. They want to make sure everyone knows that their playoff run last year was not a fluke.
The Russell Wilson to DK Metcalf combination has been almost unstoppable this year, but Seattle's league worst passing defense makes them one of the more vulnerable division leaders. The Steelers and Titans have emerged as the unlikely AFC leaders, and the Steelers' great defense could get them the number 1 seed in the conference and the AFC's only first-round bye in the playoffs, but Lamar Jackson's Ravens are tough competition. While Pittsburgh shines brightest on defense, Tennessee is one of the strongest attacks in the league, with the best running back in the NFL, Derrick Henry, and Ryan Tannehill placing in the top 5 in touchdown passes so far this season. I'm leaning on the Titans to have a better chance in the playoffs, but I'm definitely going to be looking at their game this Sunday to make a better choice on that.
All right, guys, and now last question. With the Bills and Patriots having both lost their last 2 games and the Dolphins having won their last 2 games, how do you guys see the AFC East finishing out this season?
Let me get this out of the way. The Jets are a high school football team. That being said, it's the Bills' division to lose. These guys are great. They just got to step up their defense. Otherwise, Josh Allen can carry them all the way to the AFC title game, in my opinion. And then you look at the teams below them. You look at New England, who's struggling for the first time in a long time. And you look at Miami, who's going interesting directions with Tua Tagovailoa. And in my opinion, guys, it just depends on, will you bet against Bill Belichick? In my opinion, no. So it's Bills, Pats, Dolphins, and then the Jets.
Even though Miami is only 1 game back, the Bills are the unquestionable division leaders, and Josh Allen has, for the most part, been fantastic. There's some serious concerns about if they can stack up to the elite of the AFC, but as far as the regular season goes, they shouldn't have a problem clinching this division. The Jets aren't in any conversation for anything resembling football, so I'm not going to talk about them. The Dolphins have exceeded expectations mostly due to a high-volume season from Fitzpatrick, but I expect some growing pains with them making the switch to Tua as their starting quarterback. I expect the Patriots to leapfrog the Dolphins in the standings, but I don't see the Patriots getting into the playoffs either, as they might already be out of the race for a wild card spot.
All right. Unfortunately, that's going to wrap it up here. A big thank you to Danny and Mike for joining me today. I'm Sam Yarnell, but don't go anywhere, Hofstra fans, because this haunting episode of Sports Beat will be back.